Achilles unleashed, the wrath of a demigod, hero of the Trojan War. In the age when gods walked among men, a prophecy was born in Thessaly, a warrior destined for eternal glory and a tragic fall. Achilles, son of Thetis and King Peleus, was no ordinary child. Baptized in the river Styx, he became nearly invincible, save for a single heel, untouched by the sacred water. As he grew, legends whispered of his speed, his fury, and the fire in his heart that even the gods feared. Trained by Chiron the centaur, Achilles mastered the art of war before he could shave. But fate would not allow peace. Far across the Aegean, a stolen queen ignited the flames of a war that would shape history. And in that fire, Achilles would burn brighter than all. Helen of Sparta had been taken by Paris of Troy, and the greatest Greek warriors answered the call for vengeance. Kings rallied their armies, but all eyes turned to one: Achilles, the demigod with the power to tip the scale of destiny. Agamemnon, proud and iron-willed, begged for his sword. Odysseus, cunning and silver-tongued, knew the war was doomed without him. At first, Achilles refused, disgusted by politics and power games. But when Thetis whispered of immortal glory, of a name sung for all time, he chose the spear. With 50 ships and his loyal myrmidons, Achilles sailed east, not for honor, not for kings, but for the legend his blood demanded. The gates of Troy trembled in anticipation. Their storm was coming. When Achilles entered the fray, the earth seemed to shudder. Armor gleamed like sunlight. His war cry pierced heaven. No Trojan could stand before him. Spears snapped, chariots crumbled, warriors fled. With Patroclus at his side and the myrmidons crushing the flanks, Achilles tore through the enemy like a divine firestorm. His blade drank deep. Day after day, the Trojans bled, and the gods above watched with awe and unease. But pride is a dangerous ally. Achilles refused to bow to Agamemnon's commands. When the High King stole his war prize, Briseis, Achilles withdrew in fury. The Greeks faltered. The tide turned. Achilles, the god-killer, sat silent as his brothers died. His wrath smoldered, and then it ignited. With Achilles gone, Greek hope withered. Desperate, Patroclus donned his armor and led the Myrmidons to battle, hoping to rally the tide. At first, it worked, until Hector, prince of Troy and champion of their walls, struck him down. Patroclus fell, whispering Achilles' name as blood pooled beneath him. The news shattered Achilles. His scream split the heavens, and the rivers wept. His rage eclipsed reason. The man who had defied kings now knelt in ashes, mourning his truest friend. But grief gave birth to something darker. His soul became a blade, his fury boundless. And Troy would drown in it. Hephaestus, god of fire, forged him armor the likes of which no mortal had ever worn, unbreakable, divine. Achilles returned to the battlefield, not as a warrior, but as death incarnate. The rivers ran red as he tore through Trojan ranks, slaying men by the hundreds, untouchable, unstoppable. And then he found Hector. The duel was brutal, merciless, unforgettable. Hector fought with honor, but Achilles fought with fury. When the final blow fell, Troy lost its heart. Achilles dragged Hector's body in the dust, not for strategy, but for vengeance. Not even the gods could look away. Achilles had become something more than mortal, and less. With Hector dead, Troy's days were numbered, but the gods had grown weary. Apollo, protector of Troy, would not let Achilles escape fate. In the darkness, Paris, not a warrior, but a prince, drew his bow. The arrow sang. It flew, not by skill, but divine will, striking the only mortal part of Achilles, his heel. He staggered, then fell. The world seemed to hold its breath. The man who defied fate was now its victim. Achilles died, not in battle, but by a whisper of fate's cruel irony. Yet in death, he became immortal, his name etched in eternity, his story told in every war song ever sung. Achilles never saw Troy fall, but he broke its heart. His rage burned brighter than the sun. His sword carved legends from flesh. Homer's Iliad made him eternal, not for his strength, but for his sorrow, his wrath, his humanity. In every soldier's chant, every poet's verse, the ghost of Achilles marches still, beautiful, terrible, unforgettable. He was more than myth. He was a man who chased glory and caught it with bloodied hands. And though the arrow found his heel, it could never pierce his legend, NG. If Achilles gripped your soul today, subscribe to Timeless Legend. New heroes rise each week. Witness their fire. Embrace the legend.